Hi, it's Kathy coming to you from lovely Cusco, Peru. Let's see if you can see some of it. It's a little overcast today, but you can see those mountains there. Some pine trees. We're on a hill, so maybe I can show you that view in a little bit. And I wanted to talk about a couple of things. Awareness as your greatest security or safety, and about vulnerability. So I arrived at the airport yesterday in Lima, and I kept having this, watch your stuff. Make sure people don't take your stuff. And you know, sometimes you have awareness and sometimes there's judgment going on, and I was like, where was this coming from? Because it was not this relaxed sort of awareness, like, okay, be aware of your stuff. It was more of a neurotic type thing. So I started to think about that, and just because I've traveled in a lot of countries where, you know, there's definitely there are people trying to get something out of you. And when you have awareness that that's going on, it's totally different from this. So vulnerability, how this links in, and I'll go back more into the awareness part in a moment. So I started to just soften. Kathy, soften any viewpoints, soften your body, and start to receive from everything. And when I started to soften, what happened was that I realized most of the people around me were not in that I have to get something out of these people at all. They're really genuinely, and as you know, we left the airport and went to our hotel and then went back to the airport the next day. They really genuinely were service oriented. They really genuinely wanted to contribute. And we got this cab driver yesterday in Cusco, where we are now, and Cusco is amazing. It's up in the mountains. We're at 10,000 feet. He was talking about, you know, he could barely speak English, and his English is about as good as my Spanish, which was much better 15 years ago, but what would it take to just tap back into those skills and that knowing? And so he was just giving us a tour of his city with his, you know, broken English and in Spanish, you know, and telling us about this statue and this boulevard, and there was a giant rainbow slide, which was super cool. So vulnerability, just softening, releasing, relaxing, and allowing everything in. The good, the bad, the ugly, allowing it in. And that doesn't mean being walked on, which is a totally different video. But it does just mean soften those judgments and allow everything to contribute to you. And then going back to awareness and vulnerability and people taking advantage. So Dave and I were walking through this courtyard full of people selling things, and it was just lovely. Fried guinea pig, and that's not that lovely in my point of view, but you could just, it was just real. No, not touristy, just walking through a normal celebration in Peru. And you know, these two ladies came up to us, and one had a llama, which I was like, a llama! And then both of them had teeny little cute baby llamas, which look like baby goats. And you know, you just know that if you hold one, they want you to hold them, that they're gonna want money. So awareness, right, as the greatest security. It's just okay, cool. Now we get to choose. We know that they'd like to have money, and we know that these are adorable little llamas, and like, it's a choice to take them up on those llamas or not. And we did, just because it's like, it's an experience. Yeah, we're happy to gift you money to hold your llamas. So we took a picture, and yeah, what if you could become so vulnerable and soft, like a baby, receiving from everywhere and everything, with barriers down, and allow your awareness to tell you when you're gonna be had, and you can choose it or not, and choose what works for you. So that's my video today. It was a little roundabout, but I hope it helps you. And every time I see a baby, I'm like, what would it take to receive like that? What's that acoustical vibration that this baby is that I can tap into and also be? Have fun with that. I hope it helps you in some way. Aloha.